From the studios of the Bakersfield Californian, it's time to open up with real people and real talk about real stuff. And now, a special welcome to our friends throughout California, across the nation, and around the world to this week's edition of Open Up.
Good morning and welcome to Open Up. I'm Tina Miller.
And I am Bob Prater.
Yes, and we're hoping that Don is safe and sound.
He's on the side of the road somewhere.
Well, that's why I said I hope he's safe and sound and things work out for him swiftly.
He's actually okay. His car's just broken down.
Okay.
So we're good.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to all of you all around the world. Welcome to our live studio audience.
Hello, audience.
Oh, okay. And before we introduce our first guest, Chris has a 2-minute video we want to show you. So what's this?
I'm Nikki Cummings, president of Whirlwind and Solar. My husband comes from a long line of entrepreneurs. His dad was a pioneer in the wind industry here in Tehachapi, dating all the way back to the late 1970s. So in 2007, we launched a service company, Whirlwind and Solar, and started performing services for wind farms across the country. In 2012, our business was doing great. Things were humming along. We were growing. We were taking traction. And because at that time, the bulk of our business was based on construction, it's dependent on tax credits. And so the production tax credit that helps our industry grow had been stifled and delayed. It did get passed at the end of the year, but our industry came to a screeching halt from a construction side. And so in 2013, we went from having the best year the year prior to what we forecasted to be the worst year. And so we knew that we were in a position at the beginning of the year where we had to make some changes. I first learned about the Small Business Development Center through the Greater Tehachapi Economic Development Council. I was serving at that time as the secretary, and Jay Thompson came and did a presentation for the EDC, and then we started working together and became acquainted that way. He is such a great support for Whirlwind. He helped connect us with lenders and different areas for funding for employee training resources and different things that we didn't know about. We diversified our resources and our services into solar, which has now become over 50% of our business. We're happy to say the construction industry makes up about 5 to 10% of our business, as opposed to the 95% that we had last year. And in 2014, we had the biggest year that we've ever had. That just really made a difference for us. As we grow and expand, we plan to continue to partner with SBDC in many arenas within our business, including financing, equipment leasing to help us better serve our clients, HR laws and regulations and requirements, and employee training and development. Thank you, SBDC, for giving us that competitive edge when we needed it.
Excellent. Thank you.
That was good.
Yes, and Bob, let's welcome our guest to the show, Jay Thompson of Small Business Development Center.
Yes.
And he has next to him, Nikki Cummings. And he wants you two to come in a little closer to the mics, please.
Hi there. Thanks for having us.
Welcome. Welcome to Open Up.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Jay, let's start with you. Tell us what this program is all about.
Well, the Small Business Development Center is about small business.
Okay.
We are hosted by CSU Bakersfield.
Okay.
The SBDCs are an organization that are across the nation. There's 1,000 centers, and they're probably the best kept secret out there as far as small business is concerned, because we work off a grant from the SBA, but there's no money for advertising. So it's us going out there to promote and tell people about our program and help small business achieve their goals, dreams, and desires.
And this specific program that we saw Nikki, it was talking about Nikki. What is that?
Nikki is a best example of what we do.
Okay.
It's a good business that we came in and assisted her on, and basically people say, "Hey Jay, what do you do?" Well, I don't really do anything. Her and her husband and their partner, Harvey, they did all the work. I get to take the credit for it. But what I am is I'm their coach, cheerleader, biggest fan, all in one. I want them to win. And there's all this stuff out there. People say, hey, I heard about the SBA has loans. Well, they don't have loans. They have a loan guarantee program. I hear the SBA has training. I hear the SBA has all that. Well, we're the outreach arm of the SBA. So if you contact your SBA and ask for assistance, they're going to refer you to the Small Business Development Center in your area, or there's another organization called SCORE.
Okay.
And we're the two outreach arms of the SBA, and we go out in the field and help people with whatever they need help with.
Okay. I heard something like about Shark Tank. Tell me how that relates.
Well, there's a program coming up that's called Capital Connectors Venture Forum, and that's what we're going to talk about a little later.
Okay,
but, yeah.
wonderful. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, Nikki, the video was outstanding, by the way, and congratulations on the success of the business.
Thank you.
Tell us some things that Jay has done to help you that maybe you hadn't thought of.
Yeah, so I met Jay originally through the Greater Tehachapi Economic Development Council. We sat together on a outreach committee, and now Jay's a board member of our EDC. I happen to be the president right now, and so we've worked together for a lot of years. But that's how we originally met. And Jay came in, and he met with my husband, Buddy Cummings, who's my partner, and Harvey Stevens, who's also our partner. And we have done things from employment training resources, business plan development. He just really has been our cheerleader. Business evaluations, just different things to help get our affairs in order with having a partner and whatnot, and wanting to know the value of our business. And Jay has a lot of resources through the SBDC where he can help businesses like ours and even businesses in the more premature stages where someone just has a great vision, but they really don't know where to begin. Gotcha. He's that resource.
Jay, how is the SBDC funded?
They're funded by a grant from the SBA, and then there are matching partners, which are primarily local banks and whatnot that help with the match on that. So,
do the businesses have to pay anything for the services?
well, the service is not free, but it's no cost to the user.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So we do have milestones that we need to achieve, and as long as we're moving forward and making progress, and I can account for my time, then we can continue our relationship.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask Nikki a question. Those big tall propellers we see are you telling me, and this is for the sake of the viewers.
Yes. Okay.
Are you telling me that you and your partners, your husband, started this whole thing?
Well, so the birth of the North American wind industry did begin in Tehachapi, California. And my husband's dad actually was an entrepreneur in the wind industry in the late 1970s and early 80s. He actually brought in the first Vestas turbine, which is the #1 turbine sold in the world, and it's from Denmark. Okay. And so, but it was very, very in very preliminary stages at that time, the wind industry, and he ended up getting out of the industry in the mid 80s. But just growing up in Tehachapi, it is such a mecca for wind industry. And so we just established relationships. We knew folks that had gone to high school, maybe college wasn't their path, and they started out as wind techs. And then in the mid 2000s, we kind of experienced a renaissance with some production tax credits and some different things from the federal government. And so the wind industry boomed again. And so those guys that were wind techs, they worked up into upper level management for manufacturers and developers. And so we were just in a position. We have another company in San Diego, and it was more established, and it afforded Buddy and I the opportunity to invest in a service company. So what we do is we provide operations and maintenance and construction services. So we don't develop the wind farms. We work for the owners, and we also work for the manufacturers and the contractors who are building the wind farms.
Okay, my husband and I travel. As a matter of fact, we were up through Tehachapi this past weekend, and he is so fascinated with this tall thing. Is it about 80 feet?
About 300 feet.
300?
Yeah, the new
Great.
ones. Yeah.
I'll have to tell him this. He'll watch, hopefully. But he sees this thing, and so you call it a wind farm?
Yes, we're wind farmers.
Wind farmers.
My goodness.
Isn't that?
I like it. So, T. Boone Pickens. I'm sure you've heard of T. Boone Pickens.
Yes, he's been very good for our industry.
I'm sure he has been. He's an outspoken spokesman for what you
very
do.
Charming.
Yes.
How much of your business is wind farming, percentage-wise?
Right now, honestly, so as you saw in the video, I mean, at one point it was all of our business when we first started, and then we got into the wind construction side of things, and that really took off, and construction was about 90% of our business. And then the production tax credit was delayed at the federal level, and it was inevitably extended, but it was delayed, and so no projects from these developers across the country were in the hopper to be built. And so so in 2013, the year was devastatingly slow. And so we, Harvey Stevens, our partner, comes to us from a solar thermal background, 25 years working for the largest solar thermal power plants in the world. And so when he joined us, he took a couple years to really understand what we're doing on the wind side, but it was ultimately with the goal to expand into solar. And so in 2013, we really, knowing that it was going to be such a slow year, we had some options. We could close up shop, take the money and run what was left of it. We could just inch along and keep doing what we were doing and pray for rain and hope that we were going to survive, or retreat forward, as we call it. And so we invested everything we had, my partner as well, and our moms, and all the remaining cash flow, and we really pushed in, and we expanded our resources into solar and different arenas in wind. We looked for new opportunities to provide services that our competitors weren't on a solar side, and so now solar is about 50%, if not sometimes on a monthly basis, it tips the scales. So between wind and solar, it's about 50-50 right now.
Thank you. We need to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear more, lots more, from Jay Thompson and Nikki Cummings. Thank you.
We'll be right back.